Welcome to Pedro's studio. He shares it with me. Pedro is a thirsty boy, so like 20 times a day, I'm up and down giving him water so that he stays good and hydrated. Cutie. He really is my studio kitty, keeping me company while I work. We've been in this house for about 12 years now. Here are some of my plants. We get a lovely afternoon sunlight in this room. I have a nice collection of cacti, succulents, and houseplants. I've had some of these guys for over 20 years. I think it's really important to share your space with living plants. They improve the air, and it's fun to see them grow, change, and thrive. Here's a sweep of the main studio room. You can see some of the architecture of this 1890 house. I made a giant table in the middle of the room because I tend to work flat and need a lot of surface area. These are my pastel metallic moons. I'm still working on the title, maybe something to do with sherbet. They took about 3 months, but I made a point of finishing them in 2019, January 31st at around 4 or 5 p.m. to be exact. But it was really important to me psychically to see them finished then so that I could start 2020 off with a clean slate. Here's a pretty tight detail that gives a sense of the surface and the metallic sheen. Here's my Zoom setup. This is where I'm teaching my 5 classes virtually this semester. It works pretty well, but I definitely miss seeing my students in real life. Last year, I made a series of wall paintings from photographs I took while traveling in the Yucatan Peninsula. This is a new painting. This one is of the outside wall of the Baltimore Cemetery at the end of North Avenue. I'm only 3 bricks in, but we will get there. I love interesting things. I'm an avid collector / low-key hoarder, but I get inspired by my collections. I also have Skeletor and He-Man in here. In my world, they're not at war with each other, but rather have fallen madly in love. They are kind of my muses. I've made work about them before, and I know I will again. Also, here's a couple of in-process works thinking about inserting new queer narratives into Mesoamerican imagery. I bought this rug just before the world shut down. This is a faux skin rug, although I've made work on leather before. I think this summer I'll embroider and sew into it. Jaguar imagery is pervasive in Mesoamerican art. I'm not really sure what this is going to become, but it's up because sometimes the answer might come to me while I'm working on a different painting. Here are a few works from my circumference series. They're 18 by 18 inches each. I like the scale because I can complete one of these in a day or two. It's nice to feel that sense of accomplishment. This is just to show you how important it is to be organized. I love knowing where everything in my studio is. It's a real time saver. These are my drawing materials and some totems, my pencils, graphite, blending stumps, compasses, rulers and templates, erasers, and X-Acto knives. This is about 5 years of my sketchbook practice. I've got patterns here, transparencies, color aid. Here are my brushes. I paint mostly in acrylic, but I have a decent collection of oil brushes as well. Tape, all the tape. And then my paint. I mostly paint with Flash, and over the years I've collected almost every color. They just developed some new ones, so I'll get those soon. I love the way Flash dries so matte. It's lovely against the satiny finish of the Duralar that I generally work on. I'm also experimenting with some high flow and gloss golden paints. This series of condom paintings kind of saved me during this pandemic. I already had about 50 of them done, so it was just a matter of sitting down and finishing. The creative part and the preliminary work was done. I just had to get to work and finish. They are about a different virus, HIV and safe sex practices, but there is something that feels very relevant about painting these during the pandemic and social distancing. I like to work in series, often in sets of 100. What was nice in this case was that when I did the calculations, 100 drawings fit perfectly on this wall. It felt kind of like kismet. This is about 25 minutes of me painting sped up to 1 minute. You can see the fluidity of the paint and my small paintbrush. A lot of my process might seem tedious, and I guess it feels like that sometimes, but usually it gives me tremendous satisfaction. I like painting this precisely. This is Golden Brand High Flow Acrylic. It is very glossy and keeps its shine as it dries. I also love that the paint moves a bit while it dries and has some transparency, the way that a condom does. Wow, I really wish that I did paint that fast. This is a painting protector. My husband and I invented these because we live with 3 cat monsters who don't quite respect my boundaries. It's just made out of pegboard and 1x2s. We put silicone pads on each corner to protect the surface of the painting. They're super sturdy and protect the drying artwork from the cats. Here's Pedro again, enjoying the afternoon sun. I feel so lucky to have this space. I love having my studio in my home. This whole pandemic has only reinforced that. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Wash your hands.